and keep that going as we go straight into the next one with Cameron from Pop-Aut. Round of applause. Hey.
Hey everybody, I'm Kamran. This is Pop-Aut. It's a collaborative payroll system to automatically pay artists for their creative projects. So who are these creators? Well, they make up about a third of our workforce today. You may know them as musicians, filmmakers, app designers, developers, people that throw events, people that are craftsmen of sorts. They're the engines of what are today's new small business. So let's look at why we even need a payroll system for creative projects. Well, the way people mostly work is there's a company, money comes into the company, and then of course, when you work at the company, money comes out to you and you can pay for your food and shelter. In today, the way people are working, with all of these diverse sales channels that are out there growing every day, you're a creator, you've come up with an idea, you have some friends, maybe you split whatever comes in with those friends, and then of course those friends bring in more friends, and then you decide to sell it through different means. So money comes in there, goes out to you, and then of course you have to pay all these people. Paying all these people is much easier than, or much more difficult than you think. You have to have spreadsheets potentially, or you have a bookkeeper or anything that costs money or time, and then you have to pay them. Well, getting to pay everyone and then them paying another person and another person, it's a lot of work. And of course, none of these people are good at accounting. They're usually better at the creative part. And then of course, you always have to eat and have shelter. So in the end, you need the same kind of services. But what we do is we simplify the whole thing for the project. Money comes from the sales channel into our system and then out to all of the collaborators directly. And we do this automatically. We validate it directly with all the collaborators so you know what you're going to get. It's transparent so you can see from top to bottom where the money came from. And it's self-service. You do this all by yourself with your collaborators. It comes directly to you, so it's not 10 layers deep 2 years later. And it feels free to you. It's a very low-cost system. We charge a % with a $25 a month cap. And here's why it matters. It's not just because of the financial piece. It's the overhead cost of this. A bookkeeper costs, just for a half hour, $25 a half hour. And then the other piece is the creative friction. There's nothing worse than doing a creative project with people and knowing that that camera guy, you owe him $100 and he doesn't want to work with you again. So it's actually, ultimately, the business is the issue in the art. So here's how it works. Basically, we create projects in our system. There are splits that you validate with everyone, and there are expenses in front of them. We validate every single transaction and pay them all directly. And then very simply, it's on the nice dashboard, and that's Pop-Aut.
Awesome. That's a nice haircut. A nice haircut.
Thank you. Oh yeah, I had a different haircut last time.
One question I didn't ask before was, how do you, is it worth securing the payment yourself or partnering with an existing payment gateway that does all that for you?
So the gateway part, we actually can plug into any payment gateway. So it can be PayPal, it can be through Trace Quick Pay, whatever it is. We use their APIs to do that.
Can you talk a little bit about your team? I find that in technology that goes after entertainment, something particularly like this, it's going to be needed that you have deep contacts within the music space or the YouTube space?
I'm that guy. I started the mobile division at Interscope. I own a studio down the street with 2,500 musicians a week. I co-own Oakfest in North Carolina. I have a lot of those contacts.
And then can you talk me through the collaborator validation steps?
Yeah, so any collaborator can actually go on the system and add the project. What happens when the project is added, you add your collaborators, it reaches out the collaborators then validate themselves a percentage. So let's say I said you get 20% of our project, you get an email, you say yes or no. If you say yes, it's baked in the system. If you say no, it tells me you said no, we work it out, and then figure out what that percentage is. Once that's all baked into the system, whoever owns a sales channel relationship, let's say YouTube or Square or something like that, I have to then direct the payment to the system, and the system works like an escrow so that you know this money's coming through.
Beyond the payment side, is there project management? What other tools are you trying to replace? Or is it really just the payment process?
It's the payment process. The project management, there's a lot of tools out there for that. And being a creator myself, there's a lot of ways people work. This core function is really what breaks a lot of projects. you know, there's a lot of goodwill in creative work.
Cool, that's good. So
Yeah.
how many customers do you have now?
0. We did a closed beta last year where we used YouTube. We decided,
A year ago?
A year ago, yeah, last year. And this year we're doing an open beta with Square as the sales channel, which has a great API.
Is your plan to scale to go?
I'm going to scale. It's going to be awesome.
That is time.
Amazing.
Round of applause. Congratulations.
Has he pitched you?